Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Crack UPSC CSE English. About me, I am Sandeep Bhushan Thummala and my credentials are I have 8 years of teaching experience for civil services. I teach international relations, internal security and in-depth analysis of editorials and articles which will be very useful for prelims as well as mains examination. And this video is in regards to how to crack prelims as well as mains 2020. But prior to that, you have a notification in regards to Let's Crack UPSC CSE English, which is India's largest learning platform. And once you get subscribed to the Let's Crack UPSC CSE English, you will have access to unlimited live and recorded courses from India's best educators. And the other privileges you would get once you subscribe to the Let's Crack UPSC CSE English is that you will get daily live classes, live tests and quizzes, structured courses and unlimited access. And these are all the top educators of Unacademy, wherein you can see it on your screen. They are the one. And along with this, you have the other top educators at Unacademy, which you also can view it on your screen. And in regards to the courses at Let's Crack UPSC CS English, you have all these courses like economy, geography, current affairs, and these are all the rest are all the courses which are present in the Let's Crack UPSC CS English. And the others in regards to the Let's Crack UPSC CS English courses are ethics, integrity and aptitude. You have internal security, CSAT paper and also interview preparation, and all the courses which you can see it on your screen are available at UPSC CSE English. And you have the notification which is in regards to the subscription 40,000 and 24 month subscription is 48,000. So it's always recommended to go ahead with 24 month subscription because the original price is 48,000 and you have the subscription which you can go ahead with using my code SBT10, that is Sandeep Bhushan Thummala 10, by using my code. 10% discount you would get, and the discounted amount upon 48,000 would be 43,200. So it's always recommended to go ahead with for 24 month subscription because you are a privileged customer here, because you would be paying only for 13 months the amount, but you would be getting the 24 month subscription. So this is an opportunity. You please grab the opportunity by going ahead with subscribing for the UPSC CSE subscription, just paying for 13 months, that is 12 months plus 1 month. That is, you will be paying for 12 months, the actual price is 40,000 and for 1 month it is 8,000. So 12 plus 13, 12 plus 1 is 13 months and you would be paying 48,000, but you would get the subscription for 24 months. So if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead with subscribing for UPSC Let's Crack UPSC CS English, and then make sure that even your friends also aware of it, and please do go ahead with informing them about the opportunity of just paying for 13 months and then availing the subscription for 24 months, because 2 years solid preparation is required for the UPSC examination, that is 24 months. So you would get the entire 24 months preparation just by paying for 13 months. So go ahead by going ahead with subscription, and then you can use my code SBT10, that is Sandeep Bhushan Thummala 10. And now this video is in regards to the in-depth analysis of editorials and articles of the Hindu newspaper, which will be very useful in regards to the prelims as well as mains point of view, because when we are talking about, or when my discussion or the explanation would be in regards to the in-depth analysis of the editorials and articles, definitely you would get more points. You will be more having more factual and also analytical questions, so definitely you will be more equipped, more knowledgeable, and then having more in-depth analysis in regards to the thorough and better understanding about the editorial and articles, which will be part of your prelims and also mains examination. And now we'll get into the topic, that is today's topics to be discussed, wherein today you have the two editorials, which is the flattening the curve, and also the other editorial talks about the economy in lockdown. And the one who have joined, I would say hi to the person who are watching my video, hi to them. And then the topic to be discussed are the editorials. Today's editorials are flattening the curve and the economic lockdown. So we will look at today's editorial, the first one, which talks about focus on the curve. So what is important that they are focusing is on the curve. What curve are they talking about? Is it the economic curve, or is it any kind of, what you say, other curve, which will be very important in regards to how we handle the situation what is going on now. So definitely the situation what is prevailing now across the globe and also India is definitely in regards to the COVID-19 pandemic, COVID-19. So this is the one which is really causing a concern across the entire globe, and it is the one which is making sure that the infections are spreading very violent, and also there is more of mortality rate across the across the country and across the globe also. So what is important is, at this time we have gone ahead with making sure that India has gone ahead, even globe has gone ahead. It was a global national lockdown, and also you have the, what is a national lockdown in regards to the country also. So lockdown global lockdown, and also in regards to national lockdown. So we have seen that lockdown was in regards to both the countries and also in regards to the global itself. So by that it is very clear that are we really focusing on the health, that is, are we really overcoming the health crisis? Are we really overcoming the health crisis? And if yes, we are overcoming the health crisis, so what is the curve? What is the graph that we are actually, what is it, going ahead right from the beginning? And now what we are experiencing, that what is a curve? Is the curve, what do you say, at a, is it emerging the flattening curve? We are really worried about, we need to read which curve it is. This flattening of the curve is in regards to the infections, in regards to the infections of the extremely sorry, in regards to the flattening of the curve in regards to infection of the pandemic or SARS-CoV-2. And Malvika Sajivan has also joined. Hi to Malvika and others who have joined. And then a very good evening to everyone who are watching this session of the video. And definitely the government is focused on the flattening of the curve in regards to the infection, that is SARS-CoV-2 infection. So when the government is focused on it, definitely we have seen that there would be some kind of relaxation in regards to that is partial relaxation in regards to the national lockdown from April 20. That is today. That is today. There would be definitely some kind of, what is a partial relaxation on the national lockdown, focusing on the zones. Zones, when we are focusing on, it is in regards to the orange zone or red zone, orange zone, and then green zone. So these are the one: red zone, orange zone, and then green zone. Focusing on the zones, or looking at the zones, concentrating on the zones, and then making sure that whether those zones are pertaining to the hotspots or the containment zone. That means if they are very much focused that the infection is very high, then definitely there would be a situation that the government will not go ahead with the national, relaxation of the national lockdown in those areas. So India is prepared for the partial relaxation or national lockdown depending upon the zones, that is from today. And then not only just, what is relaxing the national lockdown, it is not just national lockdown. What is important is flattening of the curve is important. So when we are talking about flattening of the curve, what is that you need to, what is that you are understanding, what is that flattening of the curve? What curve are we talking about when we are talking about the flattening of the curve? Definitely it is in regards to making sure that the infections would be reduced. How the infection can be reduced? Definitely it can be reduced. One side or one measure is in regards to it is in regards to going ahead with the national lockdown, and the other one is national lockdown cannot be implemented for a longer period of time. So definitely there has to be a partial relaxation, and that is what the government has considered. And along with the partial relaxation of the national lockdown, what is important is testing is important. Testing is very very important. This is the need of the hour. Testing is important. So flattening of the curve, flattening of the curve can take place only when there are, what do you say, aggressive testing. Only when there is aggressive testing, then the flattening of the curve. When you are talking of the flattening of the curve, it is in regards to the infections. So flattening of the curves in regards to the infections can take place only through an aggressive testing. So what is important for the flattening of the curve is the aggressive testing. And we have seen that the kind of testing being taken up by various states, across the country, we have looked at the different kind of testing which is going on, the kind of, in the sense, the testing is per 1 million, for 1 million people, the testing when they are conducting, then how they are conducting, and what is the infected persons, whether it is positive or negative, and if it is positive or negative, what is that, how the, what is the testing is going on, and then if they are infected, what is the again mortality rate, that is the death case, infected case upon the testing, and then what are the mortality rate, that is in regards to death cases. So these are all what has to be taken into consideration, and those are the different testing rates which are being taken up by various states across the country. And what is important is that slowing pace of the case doubling. That means when the cases are slowing down, or when the testings are going down drastically down, then it is a cause of concern. But now we have seen across the states, it could be Delhi, or it could be even Andhra Pradesh, or it could be Punjab, and then again Telangana. Many states across Maharashtra, it is Maharashtra also, and then Madhya Pradesh. Many states have gone ahead with aggressive testing. Many states have gone ahead with aggressive testing, and this is the reason that we have to, what you say, make sure that the flattening of the curve will take place, and only that will take place by testing rates. But if you look at the testing rates, they are different from various states, or they're different from state to state. So when we look at the testing, what has been taken up in the Delhi, so test per million people, so Delhi has ramped up test per million people. So that means Delhi government is going ahead with increasing the tests. The Delhi government is going ahead with increasing the test. Why it is increasing the test? Because it knows very clearly that we have to go ahead with aggressive testing, in at least in the second phase of the national lockdown, to make sure that the infection doesn't take place, or the infection doesn't spread more virulent. That is the cause of concern. And when the tests are being taken up in Delhi, it is reported that higher percentage of positive cases are being coming up in Delhi. When the tests are being taken up, the positive cases are very high comparatively in Delhi. And when comparing it with West Bengal and Madhya Pradesh, they have gone ahead with very few tests, but still they have a higher share of positive cases. Please do understand this. That is what we are talking about. Different testing rates. Why we are talking about testing? Why is it important about testing? Because the point of the nature, or the essence of the discussion of the editorial, is in regards to the flattening of the curve, and the flattening of the curve can take place only by testing. And when we are talking about testing, that how the testing has to be aggressive testing. But when we look at the testing, what is happening different from different states, I mean the testings are different from different states, and the outcome also is different. What is important is the outcome also is different. When we are talking about, not only talking about the testing, but the outcome of the test, that is in regards to the whether the tests are positive or negative, is also different from when we are comparing it with the Delhi, and then comparing it with the West Bengal and Madhya Pradesh. West Bengal and Madhya Pradesh have conducted very few tests, but they have a higher positive test. Please do understand, but they have a higher positive test. And when we compare it with Delhi, they have gone ahead with the test, they have higher percentage of positive cases compared to West Bengal. They have gone ahead with fewer tests but higher positive tests. Here tests have been taken up, but the higher positive tests have been detected in the Delhi region. So that is important. See, when we are looking at this case, what is that you need to focus is that how the testings are going on, and how the testings are different from one state to another state. and when they are different, what is happening? That is in regards to the net outcome of the result, or the positive or negative. And when we look at that data, then we'll understand whether the flattening of the curve will take place, and if the flattening of the curve doesn't take place, then it is a cause of concern to the India itself, for the entire nation itself. So at this moment, what is required is flattening of the curve is very, very important. Now we will look at, even along with the Delhi, Madhya Pradesh and West Bengal, we will also look at Kerala also. So Kerala is a state which has managed three T's. I was repeatedly saying, that is in regards to the trace, test and treat. I would say it first: trace them, test them, and then treat them. And then Kerala is a state which is thoroughly going ahead with this concept, in regards to, they're going ahead with these three T's. When they go ahead with these three T's, or when they're going ahead with these three T's, then definitely they are effectively preventing the infections, or the new infection, or the spread of SARS-CoV-2 to the other persons. Infections are being spread at a very faster pace because Kerala has managed the three T's effectively, and because of that effectively, the infections are also being prevented effectively. Please understand here, the infections are also being prevented effectively. And Kerala's health minister, question mark, it is for you, the one who is all watching. Who is the Kerala's health minister? And it's for you, it's a question for you. You can type it in the chat box. And the highest prevalence, when we are talking about, where the cases are very positive, when we look at, then it can be traced to the states which has more of high economic output. Again, this is very important keyword for your prelims and also for the mains point of view. So it is that when you're writing, yes, Malvika says, Shaileja, yes, you're absolutely right. The minister of Kerala, health minister is Shaileja, and then they are along with the prime minister and along with the all the machineries which are in place, they are effectively making sure that the preventing of the infections are not spreading virulent. And in regards to the where the highest prevalence, that is the positive cases, are there in India, is that the states which are with high economic output, wherever you have the high economic output, or wherever you have the more number of, what you say, or more urbanization is there, then definitely you can see more of higher prevalence. Or in some of the states cases wherein the economic output plus urbanization, you can see that more of positive cases in the states wherein you have more of economic output, or else in the state which has more of urbanization, or sometimes you have this both and you can see the more of positive cases. So this is very important while you are writing an answer. So one or two lines of your answer of these points will make will make the answer really productive, and it will give you more marks. You can score more marks. So in this case, or both, like such as Maharashtra, Delhi and Tamil Nadu. So these are the states which goes ahead with the more of economic output, as well as more of, what is urbanization is prevailing in these states. So that is why more of positive cases, or the infected cases in regards to the SARS-CoV-2 are happening, or it can be seen, or it can be observed in Maharashtra, Delhi and Tamil Nadu. And why are we looking at this? Yes, as a civil servant aspirant, you need to focus on which states are being infected, and what are the reasons for what is a few states which are being highly infected, and few states wherein testing is going on. As we have discussed, that testing is going on, but still, what do you say, the infected cases are increasing. Probably in those states the social distancing is not maintained, is not taken into consideration. So thereby there are various factors. You never know, tomorrow the question could be that factors influencing, or factors responsible for spread of SARS-CoV-2 is economic output and urbanization. This is a question, and this is a statement, and the question would be discuss or comment. Discuss or comment. I think you have understood. It could be factors responsible, or else it would say the statement would be economic output and urbanization are the factors responsible for the spread of SARS-CoV-2 in many parts of the country. Discuss, comment. So look at how best we are trying to identify the keywords, key phrases, and also in regards to the questions which could be framed for the prelims and also mains point of view. That is what I repeatedly go ahead with discussing in regards to the prelims and mains point of view. Whenever I say I go ahead with in-depth analysis, and this in-depth analysis is definitely for the benefit of you, that is the viewers, that is the civil servant aspirants who are actually wanting to crack civil services in, what do you say, at least this year or in the near future, that is next year. You can go ahead with, what do you say, having a perfect base through my lecture or through my video. So the factors, economic output and the urbanization are the factors responsible, or the factors responsible for the spread of virus virulent in India. Discuss or comment. So one paragraph here will give you a question, and then you can write an answer. And what are the other factors which are driving up numbers? That is not only in Maharashtra, Delhi and Tamil Nadu, but we have seen that there are states which are also going ahead with the more of infection in spread of SARS-CoV-2 infections are happening more. That is in Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Telangana, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and also Jammu and Kashmir. And there we can see that yes, definitely they might not be focusing completely on the social distancing, That is why we have seen one of the state chief minister, that is the Telangana chief minister, has extended the national lockdown. Telangana chief minister has extended the national lockdown up till May 7th, but wherein the national lockdown for the country is till May 3rd. But look at here, it is in the one of the state in South India, that is in Telangana, they have extended to May 7th. That means it is very clear the way the various other factors prevailing, that is what I was talking about, the factors responsible or prevailing in the question I was talking about, I mean the mains. So what factors are you need to focus on as a civil servant aspirant, not just what you said, looking at the spread of the virus or the testing and all that. No, you need to also focus on the factors responsible. And I don't know, I mean the one who are watching, Malvika and then Madhu, have you gone through my today's 10 o'clock session? Have you gone through my 10 o'clock today YouTube session, 10 o'clock? And the most recent ICMR data also you have, that wherein on April 18th itself, on the single day, there was a spike. That means that increase of the new cases, infected person, that is 2154 in a single day, that is on April 18th itself, there is a spike. And that is what I am saying. What are the factors? You need to focus on this. When you are a serious civil servant aspirant, you need to focus on each and every topic from each and every angle, and then correlate it in for a, what is a one new topic. That is very, very important. And then now we will look at the way forward, how we can go ahead with the flattening of the curve, how we can make sure that the flattening of the curve will be taken into consideration, or the curve should flatten now. Now what is important is the curve should flatten. It should not further climb up. It should flatten it. Good if it climbs, I mean if it comes down, but it should not climb. It should at least be stable. And then when we look at the strategy of the India's strategy in regards to the COVID-19, fighting against the COVID-19, is that they are focusing now. India is now focusing. Now I'm saying now at the second national lockdown. After the second national lockdown, now India is focusing on testing, containment and treatment on one side, and the other side is that elevation, that means making them away. I mean, whoever are the vulnerable sections who are under distress because of the national lockdown, they have lost the jobs, they are unemployed. So government is focusing on the vulnerable sections wherein they are facing the distress, that is been taken care. And from the other side, the strategy is that they are going ahead with the testing, they are going ahead with the containment and treatment. Malvika and then Madhu, have you gone through today's 10 o'clock YouTube class? Please let me know, because I will just tell a point. And when we look at the way forward from the medical perspective, what is important is definitely we have inadequacy of the public health system, as we are all very well aware. Okay, fine. Then why I asked is that because when we wanted this flattening of the curve to take place, so what is important is, as I spoke in the morning class, in the morning YouTube class 10 o'clock, I did talk about social vaccine. Why I'm taking this point now is because the social vaccine is directly linked to flattening of the curve. Whenever, I mean, if at all we are able to effectively handle this or effectively implement the social vaccine, if we are able to effectively implement the social vaccine, then definitely the curve will flatten. Or else we expect that it will not happen. What will not happen is the increase or surge of the curve will not happen. It should not happen. Now what we have to see is it flattens. At least it flattens this way. It's good if it comes like this. It's very good. We all will be happy. So, in regards to medical perspective, yes, we have the inadequacy in regards to public health system. And now what is important, the government is also going ahead, is that they're going ahead with making sure that they have enough of tests in all the states, that is the diagnostic kits, and then making sure that there would be aggressive testing. I was talking about the previous uh, slide, aggressive testing. They will definitely go ahead with the aggressive testing now, and then making sure that there is social distancing which is maintained with seriousness. And they are also looking at the best outcomes which will come out because of the medical perspective, or because of the medical perspective, especially focus on the aggressive testing, and because of that the best outcomes will come into being, so that now the states can provide intensive treatment. Now the states can provide intensive treatment. When we are talking about intensive treatment, it is in regards to the acute respiratory illness. It could be SARS, you have one, you have SARI also. Severe acute respiratory illness. So that is what here it is. Acute respiratory illness. Please understand the keywords here. Provide intensive, keyword here, intensive treatment, and intensive treatment for acute respiratory illness. Here it did not say acute respiratory syndrome. No, it is very clear in regards to the acute respiratory illness. So that is what I have written again. SARS, that is severe acute respiratory syndrome. And then the other one you have severe, I mean, this is also a testing going on in regards to the SARI, that is severe acute respiratory illness. This is in regards to the respiratory illness also testings are going on, and this is one of the main reason that we can go ahead with flattening the curve, that intensive treatment for severe acute respiratory illness. And look at the way we are actually each and every time trying to focus the keywords, and this is very important. When you are able to focus the keywords from each and every point, then you take it for granted. You cannot miss a prelims question. I mean, you will not feel difficulty in the examination while you are giving prelims, or also while you are in the mains examination. All I bet on this. I have so much of confidence that if you can effectively focus on the keywords, and these keywords are the lifeline for you for the prelims and also mains. I repeat that these keywords are the lifelines. Definitely, I would say these are the lifelines. Not only lifelines for your prelims and mains, but lifeline for your entire, what do you say, your destiny itself. Not only your destiny, your future kids, your kids just destiny also. That is when I'm talking about your future generation also. That is the importance of the keywords while you're reading the editorials. And the need for testing is definitely growing, as I said. In the second national lockdown, before that strategic exit is going on, that is today, April 20, they are definitely going ahead with a more of testings which they wanted to go ahead, making sure that the spread of virus will not happen virulent. Instead, we will be in a position to detect the infected persons very early, so that the infected person would be quarantined, treated, and then that person is made sure that he or she is not spreading the virus unknowingly. And this testing data by all laboratories should be complete and should be shared. This is all very important in a real term, that is transparently by the center to aid policy making. And this point, take it for granted, it is very important for mains point of view. The last one, you can as well read also. You can as well read that statement. The need for testing can only grow when a phased exit strategy is attempted. That you just keep it aside. And the next one is the testing data generated by all laboratories. The testing data generated by all laboratories should be complete and shared in real time transparently by the center to aid policy makers or making. Now think that the same line is given in the exam from here till here. This same line is given. The testing data generated by all laboratories should be complete and shared in real time transparently by the center to aid policy makers or making policy makers. And then they would give you this line and say discuss, or it could be like comment. How far the data which is complete and shared transparently by the center, please look at the word transparently by the center, it will aid the policy makers. So the data is very important. Not only now I'm talking about any, not only pandemic situation, just we are talking about pandemic, but in general also data is very important for policy makers. Data is very important for the policy makers. That is, it could be you tomorrow. I mean, you could be part of policy making. Part of, I'm saying, that is the one who is wanting to go ahead with different kind of, what do you say, welfare now in regards to the economic activities, and how these economic activities will again pump the creation of the jobs, and how the salary and the income will take place. So this one is very important when you are looking into it from mains point of view. So complete sharing of the complete and shared transparently will definitely by the center will definitely aid the policy makers, and that is very important because there has to be a coordination between the data and the end result, that is the policy makers. And there are different, what do you say, points made here, that is psychologist, sorry, there are psychologists who are also talking about the kind of stigma discrimination being faced by the taking into experience previously, that is HIV tested people in 2 decades. I mean, in the past, what we have seen, or what many people have experienced, that is it creates stigmatization and xenophobia, that is in regards to discrimination. And this is what is important, that the test, whatever now the government is going ahead with the aggressive testing, will protect them from stigmatization and xenophobia, because this kind of stigmatization and xenophobia, that is discrimination, has been experienced had been experienced by the HIV patients. And that is what is important, that the psychologists say that it is important that you have access to the testing, because once they are tested, infected, and then they can be again recovered. They can be recovered if they are tested initially itself, and then if they are, what you say, not really traced initially, and if the testing is not done, so definitely they would be stigmatized, and that is not good. And then this kind of, what is a, measures can be applied to the COVID-19 pandemic also. And that is very important, that how best we can go ahead with the flattening of the curve. Flattening of the curve, and what all are important, or the factors responsible. Now what is important is, we have looked at the various factors responsible for the flattening of the curve. It cannot happen only by testing. There are various, like trying to, as I've said in the morning class, that is what I was talking about, the social vaccine. Social vaccine, you have social distancing part of it. I spoke about IEC. What is IEC? Information, education, and communication. And then in regards to the social behavioral change community, SBCC, you have this IEC and SBCC, and these are the important areas or the factors which impacts the, or which will make sure that the curve will flatten. And the conclusion is that flattening the curve will require clear messages on preventive health. This is important. Steps to help people maintain strict quarantine, where indicated without suffering. This is again health and then economy is combined in these conclusions. Without suffering economic losses, and carry out regular surveillances of testing and symptom monitoring. So here what is taken into consideration is the trace, test, treat, and then economic activity. Trace, test, treat, and then livelihood. Or else, if we can take this completely together, these three T's under lives, and then livelihood. When we can provide these two, or the factors responsible for providing these two, or preventing the loss of life, and then creating livelihood, will make sure that the flattening of the curve will happen. Flattening of the curve will require what? Steps to take, TTTT, that is lives and also livelihood. Now I'll go to the next topic. Before that, I'll just erase this. The next one is in regards to the economy. We have looked at here curve. We were talking about what curve? That health related. And now we will focus in regards to the economic lockdown. So definitely there is economic lockdown. What in the India has experienced, not only India, entire globe has experienced. That is all the countries have experienced the economic slowdown, and this is only because of the pandemic. This is only because of the pandemic situation. And when we are talking about the pandemic situation, yes, this was because there was totally cut, trade was cut, as there was trade was cut, that is imports and exports or exempts. Import and exports were totally stopped, to make sure that there is maintaining of the social distancing, or to cut the transmission, or to break the transmission of the COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2. And that has, what is a sweeping shutdowns across the world of almost all the entire economies of the world. What has come to the, what is the conclusion of IMF, that is International Monetary Fund, has said that because of the situation what the entire world is facing, or the globe is facing, is a crisis like no other. That means IMF has very clearly stated that this kind of crisis what we are facing now, it could be health crisis. That is what I was repeatedly talking about, or using these two words, health crisis or economic crisis. And these two crises are the one wherein we haven't seen it anytime, or else it is like no other crisis. This kind of crisis what is sweeping across the entire economies or the entire countries across the globe. And then IMF has also forecasted a sharpest contraction because of the pandemic situation, because of the social distancing, because of the global lockdown, because of the global lockdown, because of the global lockdown, the economy has been contracted very sharply, and the world output since the Great Depression, that is in the 90s, now it has, I mean, IMF has slashed the projection as 6.3 percentage from January forecast. So they have gone ahead with the forecast report in the January, wherein it was 6.3 percentage, and now I mean the same IMF has gone ahead with again the growth rate of the entire globe. Now it is 3.3 percentage with a decline of 3 percentage. Earlier it was in the month of January 6.3 percentage. Now it is 3.3 percentage with a decline of minus 3 percentage. So that is the impact just in what you say 2 to 3 months, that is 60 to 90 days. The global economy has come down drastically 3.3 percentage, almost 3.3 and a half percentage, and that is because of the global national lockdown, or global lockdown, not national, global lockdown. And that is what it says is that it is the sharpest contraction in the world output since 1930, since Great Depression. So after the Great Depression, what we have experienced in 1930s, after the World War, Great Depression, and now we are seeing the amount of squeeze what is happening, or the contract what is happening in regards to the global output is only now. And when we focus, that's 6.3 in the month of January, and again in the month of April 3.3, that is minus 3. So it is a biggest impact. And then the IMF chief also has come up, that is Kristalina Georgieva has said that in the G20 Finance Minister Summit that the global growth would be about 0. percentage lower. That means definitely there is a decrease in the global growth, and this is, they are forecasting it, comparing it with the January global output or global slowdown. To look at it, how it is been impacting, the global lockdown is impacting the both the crisis what India has experienced way past in 1930s during the economic depression, and now when we compare, it has drastically come down to minus 3 percentage, and that is what is a cause of concern. And now we are not, what do you say, just lockdown. It is not national lockdown, it is not global lockdown, it is economic lockdown. This is what is happening, and this is how you have to focus. Because of national lockdown, because of global lockdown, the consequences what we are experiencing is the economic lockdown. And when we look at the IMF, which has come up with the report or the suggestion that China's forecast has come down to 1.2 percentage. So it is comparing the entire, it has given the data in regards to the entire world global economic slowdown, and also comparing it with the China, that is the Asian countries, China. So, and then it has said that the China's economic growth has come down because of the industrial production, which has come down drastically because of the COVID-19 pandemic, because of the retail sales which has come down, because of the fixed asset investment, that is in regards to the production, retail sales, and also in regards to the asset investments. In these three sectors or three areas, the China could not do or could not go ahead with an impressive because of the pandemic situation, because we all know that Wuhan is the epicenter, and when the Wuhan was epicenter for the COVID-19 pandemic, definitely the production, retail, and then fixed asset investments have all been come down drastically, and in turn it has contracted the economy of the China itself. And then the IMF has projected in the first quarter of China's growth to be contracted about 8%, not 8%, not to 8%. It is about 8%, and still it is going. I mean, IMF is still projecting an annual expansion in Asia's largest economy, even though the China has gone ahead with contracting its growth by 8% in the first quarter because of the uh, kind of squeeze in the industrial production, retail sales, and then fixed asset. But still, it is projecting an annual expansion in the Asia's, that is the Asia's largest economy. Even China, what they say is still it will progress, it will bounce back. This thing, why it will bounce back? Because it has a sharp rebound activity over the rest of the year. So this is only first quarter we are talking about. IMF come up. IMF is also talking about that it will bounce back, it will rebound. Who? The China's economy will bounce back in the rest of the 3 quarters. In the rest of the 3 quarters, if you look at it, will bounce back. That means rest of the year there would be definitely the more of industrial production, retail sales will grow, fixed asset investments will increase, thereby the economy, or that is the growth of the China will be prosperous, will be, what do you say, rebounding. And now IMF has also spoken about the economic lockdown and then its impact on India's economy. And then IMF has cut India's projection, that is this fiscal year, that is from April 1st. It has from January, if you look at 5.8 it was, and now it is 1.9%. So definitely almost close to 4% reduction has happened, minus 4%. So that is impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on India's economy. Look at it, how IMF has come up with global, then Asia, that is China, and also Asia within India, that how the prospects of the growth rate has reduced and how it will also increase. And it is very clearly saying that the pandemic will fade away. That means slowly the SARS-CoV-2 infection will reduce in the second half of the 2020. That means at least after June itself, the second half of the 2020, the slowly the spread of virus, that is SARS-CoV-2, will come down, it will reduce, and that will again make sure that it will unwound or rebound the economic activity, or it will increase the economic activity, and the economic activities will come to normalization, that is the business activities will come to normal position in the second half of the year 2020. So definitely IMF has come up with the global economy, the global growth rate, which it has told that it has come down to almost 3% minus. And when we talk about China, it has come down to about 8% minus. But it also says that it will bounce back once again, China. And then India also from 5.8 to 1.9, that is minus 4%. But it also says once again that the entire scenario of the world will also bounce back in the second half of 2020. That means there is a positive signals which are being put forth by IMF, not just trying to kind of showing a message that it is all negative. No, it is negative as of now, but definitely the growth rate will be in a positive stage once the pandemic will further reduce, that infections will further reduce. That means the positive growth will increase. GDP, rather than this down, it will be high, it will be like this, definitely. And if you look at the key assumptions of the IMF, that definitely the availability of the policy support to nurture the revival one activity restarts. And now what is important is the policy support is important. What are the various economic activities which are supposed to take up in various countries? How? So that it will nurture the revival of the economy. So this economic activity will revive the economic growth. Economic activity will revive the economic growth of all the countries. So how best the economic activity would be of each and every country is important for its economic growth. For its economic growth post pandemic or post COVID-19 pandemic. And then one of the IMF chief economists, that is Geeta Gopinath, has also advocated, has also said that there has to be a ramping up. That means increase of broad-based and coordinated stimulus. This is very important. Coordinated stimulus is very important keyword here, because when we are talking about coordinated stimulus, it is coordinated stimulus which should take place globally. All the countries together should come up with the coordinated stimulus. Coordinated stimulus is the only measure that would avoid the globe, or the what do you say, the entire countries to falling into or slipping into the Great Depression. Please do understand here, only the coordinated stimulus globally will make the globe slipping into the global depression. If we are not coordinated, if we are not together, then take it for granted that we will definitely inch towards the global depression of 1930s. And what is important, the keyword here is coordinated stimulus is very important. And if you look at India's fiscal measures, that is expenditure, fiscal measures in the sense expenditure, if you look at, they are in term of the scale, that is the amount of money which has been spent now at this time is comparatively very low when comparing with other nations or other countries. So definitely there is a situation which has to be taken into consideration, that the expenditure or the stimulus, what the coordinated stimulus would be or is necessary to avoid another Great Depression, is that India also within, also we have to go ahead that we need to again focus on the fiscal measures. Fiscal measures should also be taken into consideration. Now look at this picture I have taken for the benefit of the students here. It is World Economic Outlook for April 2020. It is a recent one, and this is a growth projection, and this is very important to your understanding. And then this is global economy. These three. I mean, look at here, up till here, and then this is. So this is global economy, this is advanced economy, and this is emerging markets and developing economy. So if you look at the global economy, 2019 it was 2.9 percentage, 2020 minus 3, as we looked at 6.3 percentage to 3.3 percentage. So almost minus 3 percentage I did talk about globally, IMF projection. Fine. So this is in regards to the global. If you look at advanced economies, in 2019 it is 1.7 percentage, but in 2020 now, because of the all this is because all this, I mean whatever the growth is because of the COVID-19 health crisis, this is. And then in 2020 look at minus 6.1, global is minus 3, and then advanced economies, that is the one who always says that their health infrastructure is far better than the developing countries. And then again in the 2021 it will bounce back to 4.5 percentage. That means minus 6.21 to 4.5. That means almost 6.5 percentage more than that it will bounce back. No, 6 and then 4 here, almost 10. Almost 10.5 percentage of the growth it will take place from minus to plus. Here it is minus, so it will come from minus to, it will bounce back to plus. So that means minus 6.5 it has to actually come back to here, that is to 0. That is almost 6 percentage of the growth should take place to come to the 0, and from 0 again they have to hit back, they have to climb up to 4.5. So ultimately overall from minus 6.1 to 4.5, so it is totally 10.5 percentage of growth. So that is a superb what do you say growth expansion of the surge in the growth rate in the advanced country, and that is the greatness of the advanced country. They will bounce back. That is very important. It will bounce back. And now we will look at the emerging markets or developing countries. In 2019, it is 3.7 percentage plus, and in 2010 it will go to minus one. That is, all the emerging economies or developing countries could be part of India also, part of India and China. But look at it again in 2021, it is crossing 6.6. It will touch 6.6 percentage. It is above the developed advanced economies also. It is above the advanced economy. That means the developed countries, whatever they can bounce back post pandemic 19, the developing countries will bounce back very high, almost to 2 percentage. Developing countries will bounce back almost 1.9 percentage, so almost 2%. But when you look at from minus 6.1 to 4.5, then overall it is 10.5 percentage. Here if you look at, it is minus, so it is 1 here and then 6, so it is 7.6 percentage overall if you look at, but here 10.5, so it will bounce back. But if you look at the overall, I mean the plus on that particular day in 2020, it is the emerging economies will have more of growth rate. That is what it is now because of this COVID-19 and its impact on global economy. COVID-19 and its impact on global economy, it would be that new liberal outlook or new international economic order will come into existence. New international economic order will come into existence. And the center needs proactively commitment and a substantial stimulus to overcome the economy or to reopen it, and then the legs to run. That means to move further, what is important is the economy should reopen. And then conclusion is that given the size of informal sector and the anticipated prolonged disruption what India has seen because of the labor supply, even in more formal parts of economy also, if you look at that, not only in the informal sector but also in the formal parts of the economy also, it has been hit very badly. And then I would say that these two have been a very good points for prelims and also for the mains point of view. So thereby I say that it was informative, knowledgeable, and then please go ahead with liking the video, subscribe the video, hit the bell button, and then while you're watching the video, that is Let's Crack UPSC CS English, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead with subscribing for the Let's Crack UPSC CS English with my code, using my code SBT10, that is Sandeep Bhushan Thummala, wherein you will get 10% discount. Go ahead with subscribing for 24 months, because when you subscribe for 24 months, actually you are paying, effectively you are paying for 13 months amount only, but you would get the subscription for 24 months. And then make sure that you also inform your friends to take the maximum benefit or to grab the opportunity what you have, that you are paying for 13 months but you are getting the subscription for the 24 months. And please go ahead with downloading the Unacademy app, because once you download the Unacademy app, you can also have the access to Unacademy special classes. You can also have the access to the Unacademy special classes, wherein you can go ahead with listening to the, or else you can go ahead with watching the classes live and even in regards to recorded, in regards to the all the educators and all the courses. So please go ahead with subscribing using my code SBT10, and then make sure that you take the maximum benefit of this. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow at this time.